participate as a team. You get a PPT in which there will be many questions, and you have to solve them basically with your teammates. And there are two options. First is if you're the top three. If you're the top three, then you get a direct interview with the HR round. Is that if you're within the top 100 teams, at that point, you get an opportunity to sit for the multiple rounds at ZS. We were 5 people, so all 5 of us are now separate, right? So now we have to go through all the rounds alone. Okay. So there are 40 questions to be attempted in 60 minutes. Then a random question popped in. He said that, can you guess estimate and tell me what is the total metro track length of the whole Delhi NCR?
Hi everyone, thank you so much for such an amazing response to all the videos, all the love that you are showing. So I'm back again with yet another very special episode of Let's Talk Placement Series, basically an intern cum placement type of thing. So we'll talk about each and every detail about this exceptionally good program, and the applications for this year have rolled out for the batch of 2022. If you haven't already seen what this program is, go ahead and check out the link in the description below. You will get all the details about this program that I'm going to discuss today. So basically this program that I'm going to discuss today is for a company named as ZS Associates. ZS Associates is basically a very good consulting and professional services firm dealing with technology, healthcare, and basically pharmaceutical industry. And it is a very reputed company when we talk about its work culture, its CTC, its stipend. So everything, it's like as compared to a top MNC. So this was all about the company named as ZS Associates. When we talk about its particular program that we are going to discuss in this video, so the program it has come up with is known as ZS Campus Beats. So basically this program is mainly focused upon students pursuing their pre-final years in there's no branch limitation. All branches people are eligible to participate in this Campus Beats program. So if you are into consulting, or if you are into software development, or if you're into technology analysis, so everybody is eligible to apply, and you have your own do's and don'ts for different profiles. So when you talk about this program, it's basically the eligibility criteria is pre-final years. So current batch of 2022 will be eligible for ZS Campus Beats, and the CGPA criteria that they have kept is you must have a CGPA of 6.5 and above. Apart from that, all the rest of the details are there in the description below. So we'll talk about a brief about this program. What is ZS Campus Beats? ZS Campus Beats is basically a type of hackathon, I would say, along with a lot of rounds. So what they do is basically they have a series of events that they conduct while making the things more better. So firstly, they'll conduct a brown bag session. So brown bag session is basically to make you people aware about what ZS does, its culture, its and a bit of some logical thinking and reasoning questions they'll ask you in that session, and they'll award you some prizes. So this year it is going to be in the virtual format, so maybe you'll be getting these webinars in an online mode. Next, when it comes to the case study challenge, so they'll roll out a case study challenge sooner after you enroll in for this program, and you need to participate in a team of around 5 people for this program. Exact details are there in the description below. So you need to participate in that case challenge. You need to submit the solutions of that case challenge along with your team, and after that there will be some shortlisting, and the top 100 teams will be given the chance to interview with ZS Associates as for full-time as well as internships roles. So they have various profiles for this. For example, they have BTA, Business Operations, and Data Decision Associate Analyst. So when you talk about BTA profile, it's Technology Analyst, basically the people interested in software development, computer science streams, electronics, IT. So all these people will be interested in BTA stream. BTA profile. When you talk about Business Operations and Decision Associate Analyst, so these are basically the profiles that deal with some anybody can be eligible to participate if you have good communication skills, if you have good problem solving, if you have good logic building. So you are eligible to participate in ZS Campus Beats, and branch is not a limitation or a boundary for you to participate. So next, talking about some of the more things that we have in this ZS Campus Beats challenges. After that, you'll be interviewed for roles at ZS Associates, and along with that, there are a lot of prizes that you can get if you are in the top 100 or in the top 50. So a lot of prizes. So it's going to be really good program. So if you haven't already checked out, and if you're not aware of this program, I would suggest you to go ahead and first of all register for this program. And I have in this episode a very special guest. He is Kushagra from VIT Vellore. He is VAT Chennai. So he is a final year undergraduate, and currently he is an intern at ZS Associates. Last year he participated in this ZS Campus Beats, and he was one of the winners. And he was offered an internship role at ZS, which will be converted into a full-time role in the coming time. So this is basically, I have discussed each and everything with Kushagra, and he has given a crisp and clear explanation of everything, like what you need to do for this program, what are the important do's and don'ts, what is the preparation strategy, what are the type of questions they ask in the interview, how you can frame up your case challenge, so how you can answer those questions in that case challenge, and each and every detail he has given very, like, I would say, very elaboratively, and that is going to be play a very good part when it comes to you participating this year in ZS Campus Beats. So don't wait for a minute, go ahead and register for this event in the link below, form your team, and then go ahead and watch this video completely to get more and more insights from Kushagra on how you can win this challenge, how you can ace this challenge for this year. Thank you so much, Kushagra, for accepting the invitation and coming here for discussing about the ZS Campus Suites program that is currently having its enrollment on. So, before we start with the entire program, we'll like to know more about you, your introduction, your background.
Okay, yeah. So thank you so much, Arsh, for having me on your YouTube channel. It's a great opportunity for me to express and tell more about the ZS Campus Beach Challenge. So to start off with, my name is Kushagra, as you introduced, and I'm from VIT Vellore. It's a college in Tamil Nadu, if you might know. And so I'm pursuing BTech Electrical and Electronics Engineering presently. I'm in my final semester right now. And I went through the ZS Campus Beach Challenge exactly almost a year before, and successfully I got cleared. So big happy news for me. And so I'm presently from Feb 1st itself, our internship started off as ZS. And yeah, it's been going on. So yeah.
That's super amazing, Kushagra. Before moving upon to the actual program, I would just like to know more about you, your college life, how it has been, and why did you choose this particular role?
Okay, well, that's a lot of questions. Okay, so to start off with, in my college, it has been an amazing journey for me. And I started off like pretty normal, like any other person in the college. I was pretty new. Then in the second sem, I got joined with a team known as Pravega. So it's a Formula student team. And we basically manufacture Formula One student prototype race cars, fancy name. Okay. And so I've been engrossed with this team for around 2.5 years. And we even went to Germany as part of the team to represent our team. So that was a really nice experience. And other than that, a lot of my time was there. Otherwise, I've participated in multiple hackathons. And recently there was a Google Online Marketing Challenge as well. Like, I guess its registrations might be on right now too. So we even won that. Our team even won that. So yeah, a lot of good opportunities were there in college. I made a lot of friends, trustworthy friends. My experience was great. And yeah, my academics are also pretty fine right now. So yeah, everything's going great. And so next, your question was, tell me more about ZS, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, about your role that you chose, like why this role?
Okay. So, so this is a short story. So this role, my interest in consultancy developed more around in the team itself. As part of the team, I was supposed to go to some clients or who we call sponsors to basically help us out in our team for funds. So as part of that, I used to give some presentations to sponsors. And through that field, I sort of developed an interest towards more on approaching people, solving their problems. And, I sort of like that environment a lot. So then one day I decided that, I want to go towards the consulting stream because you can talk to a lot of people. There are a multitude of problems. You brainstorm. There are nice people all around you, competent people, most importantly. And the atmosphere is really nice. Definitely, it's hardworking, no doubt to that. But it's very worthwhile to have such an experience. So that's when I decided that I wanted to be a consultant. So after that, like there's a friend of mine somewhere, and then we used to participate in some competitions. Like there are other consultancy competitions as well. So then that's when ZS came in, and we heard about the ZS Campus Beat. So it was circulated to our college portal itself. I guess the PAT team in every college circulates it. So anyhow, we registered ourselves, and so after some rounds of interview, which I'll tell you later on, we were given to select three positions, like one out of the three. So these three positions were, one was decision analytics associate, which is my role currently. One was business operations associate, and the other was business technology associate. So I preferred business, like the decision analytics stream, because it was more on the front side. Like whenever a client is approached, we are sort of a part of the go-to market team, and we counter the issue firsthand. So it's a really nice experience. And like many of you might be having doubts right now that what is exactly the differentiation. I'm not sure if I would be able to properly clarify your doubts in this uh, video we're recording, but it would be better if even you could just go to YouTube and search, because ZS has uploaded specific videos for that matter in which it properly explains the distinction. So when I heard the decision analytics associate role, it really excited me, and the work they were doing was really interesting. I got in touch with my friend's colleague who is working in ZS. So that's when I actually got to know more about ZS, its culture, its like the clients and everything. So that really excited me, and that's why I pursued this role. And yeah,
Yeah,
so
so I have also gone through your LinkedIn profile and I can see a lot of hackathons, a lot of competitions. So it was really very nice to see like you have been a participant and you have been a winner at a lot of competitions. That is something that comes out through your LinkedIn profile as well. So it was really,
yeah,
really great to see all these achievements together.
thank you so
So
much.
now coming on to the actual campus beats program. So you have been into this and you are like you're the very right choice to talk about this program. So I would like just ask you to brief about what this program is and like how we can apply for this program and what are the basically the rounds that they conduct for this program.
Okay, so that's going to be long. So first of all, to start off with, so ZS Associates is a consulting company to start off with, and it specializes in the pharma domain. Now, ZS Campus Beats is an initiative by ZS to capture the talent, which is right now, like it's pretty much similar to every hackathon you attend of other companies as well. So it's basically a way for ZS to capture the best minds for its company, which can definitely become the future leaders in consultancy. And so this is like, as far as the application is concerned, most probably you would get a mail through your college authorities. If not, you can directly apply on ZS's site. Like there's a specific portal for campus beats. You can just search it on
Yeah.
Google and you would get the option. So your one other question was, is it just for campus or off campus too? So it's totally open. You can both apply. If it doesn't come to your campus, you can apply off campus. Otherwise, you can apply directly from the on campus link. Okay. Now, as part of the competition, so first of all, there's a brown bag orientation. Okay, so as part of that orientation, it's basically a brief through of what Campus Beats is all about. So once you were registered online, you would. So this year, I'm actually one of the campus ambassadors at myself for ZS Campus Beats. So the process would be that this year it would be all online. Like earlier, what used to happen was GS used to come to colleges and have the brown bag session. This year they have it online. So once you register, you would be invited to it. Okay. So in the brown bag session, like they will properly guide you through around what is Campus Beats all about, what is the initiative all about, and they would also give you a short case study round just to test you out. And it's more like an open-ended. You can ask questions, and it's more like that. So yeah, so that's a little about Campus Beats. Now, your next question was to tell me about more the process, right?
Yeah, like what are various rounds like after the brown
The
bag
various
session? What is something that we have to do or how we have to go through?
Okay, so the first round is when you get registered. So the maximum team limit is five, I guess, five participants in a team. So after that, there would be a specific date, and there would be a portal of either 24 or 48 hours. Okay, in which you would be given a case study. Now, what a case study is, it is basically, in layman language, a problem which has been encountered by some company, and it approaches a consultant, which is ZS in this case, and it asks ZS to sort of solve out the issue for them. So just so that there aren't any
Okay.
confusions later on, say for example, XYZ pharma client comes to ZS and says, in this market, I'm making a big loss. Earlier my growth trajectory was pretty nice, but for the past 3 4 months I'm not making a good enough profit, and my sales reps are saying that it's the business is going down and everything. So they come to ZS and they give all the data to them to analyze and ask ZS the question that why is the profit going down, can you help us out with it, can you give us a strategy to work on it. So now ZS has various specializations, and then it goes through whatever the client's problem is. For example, the solutions can be, say, the market is going down, maybe the economy is going down, maybe the competitors invested more in the marketing side than the client XYZ. There can be a multitude of various things. So it's
Yeah.
basically ZS proposes a strategy, and it is the best thing about ZS is that it is always with the client throughout the solution. So many a times what happens is that once you give a solution, you just give the solution and you go away. Now, in case of ZS, they are with the client all throughout their solution. So if there's any problem in the solution, they're with them. And you will be surprised to know that around 80% of ZS's business is repeat business, which means that if a company XYZ approached ZS, then it has approached ZS again and again and again. So, for example, the first client of ZS was Pfizer in 1983 when the company started, and it is still now. You might have
Yeah.
heard of Pfizer making the vaccines in
Yeah.
the US, right?
Cool.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's really like, I guess you might be getting an overview of the culture and about a little about ZS. So yeah, as far as the rounds were concerned, so I just briefed you around the what is a case study all about. So the first round
Okay.
is a case study round. Now in that case study round, you participate as a team. You get a PPT in which there will be many questions, and you have to solve them basically with your teammates, and then upload the
Okay.
solution before the deadline. So as far as how to prepare for it, now me and my friends went through this thing known as IB case study. I'm not
Okay.
sure if you know. So it's basically a short view of what is there in the consulting field and how to counter any sort of question. So we read around that a little, and we were good at maths, so we usually solve problems a lot too in college. So then when this problem statement came, the questions were more towards the mathematical analytical side and a little on the HR side too. So yeah, questions were like, what is the profit, or can you tell? Like the basic formulas are there, like you can search them online. But the most important thing in this round is that you don't make calculation mistakes, because that happens a lot. You have to be very, very particular with the data. Like many of my other friends' teams I have seen. So what happened in that case was that because of some small errors which they couldn't point out, it's a very thin margin of, like, it's a very thin game, right? So you have to be very careful with the data. The problems aren't very difficult, but if you try to solve them, they might look on the overview, but if you try to solve them, they're normal. So just the important thing is very careful with the data. Okay. So yeah, that was the first round. So after the first
Okay.
round, there are two options. First is if you're the top three. If you're the top three, then you get a direct interview with the HR round, and then you can, if you perform good, then you can sort of be selected. And the second option is that if you're within the top 100 teams, at that point, you get an opportunity to sit for the multiple rounds at ZS. Okay.
Okay.
So now so my team was around 24th, if I'm not wrong,
Okay.
in this competition. So after that, after the case study round, now all these teams get splitted out. So essentially, we were five people. So all five of us are now separate, right? So now we have to go through all the rounds alone.
Individual.
Okay. Yeah. So then the first round at that point is the online aptitude test. online aptitude test is all about your basic aptitude questions. It can be like it's very easy. You just go search on Google ZS aptitude questions. Like you would get a plethora of questions and the type of questions there are. It can be like those are pretty normal, logical type questions. Like if a river is going upstream and a boat is going, you've heard that
Yeah.
question already, right?
All of
So
us
there are
have.
many types of questions like that. And
Okay.
so the key in that is that there are 40 questions to be attempted in 60 minutes. So time is
Okay.
very less and the questions are long. Now, the good thing about that is that all the questions are like you can go to any question, you can jump between questions. So the important thing is at that point, and every question has a weightage of 1 mark. So my strategy to counter that was at the start of the test, in the first 5-10 minutes, I just hovered through all the questions very fastly, sort of see which questions are more towards the easier sides and which I can solve. And I tried to solve them first. And then the rest of, like, in my opinion, I attempted around 25 to 30 questions properly. And the rest 15, 10, 15 questions per all tukas, right?
Okay.
So
Got it.
that was about it. And yeah, so that was about the first online aptitude test. So if you clear the aptitude test, then there's a behavioral, like there's an interview round, which is known as the video interview round. Now that
Okay.
round is system based. So there is no interviewer in front of you. It is system based. So in that, what happens is that there will be a question. It's mostly HR type. So there will be a question. You get a minute to think about it and 3 minutes to answer.
Okay.
So I don't remember very clearly, but like one question was, tell me a situation in which you faced a crisis, and then how did you counter it, for example.
Okay.
I
Perfect.
gave some situation from my college life. Like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can tell any sort. So they look more on your body language, in my opinion, as compared to your answers. So how you speak, your voice tone, and all of those factors. So, you just be confident and just speak up. So it's not that big a deal. Okay. So yeah, so these two rounds are there. So after that, maybe after a week or two, something, you get the results. So after the results, you sort of, it's the normal thing. If you get shortlist, you can proceed further. If not, you can't, right? So then the next round becomes another case study round. Now this case study round is individual, and immediately after the case study round, you have an interviewer with ZS associate. Okay, so now in this case study round is just for 1 hour. You would get again a problem statement, and you would get some specific questions. You would have to write your answers in a PDF, like
Okay.
sorry, on a notebook, make a PDF, and then send it to the
Oh,
ZS people, right? And after that, once that is done, maybe half an hour, 1 hour. In my case, it was 2 hours after because there were some people earlier too. So there was an interview. So was that interview is more about is discussing what you wrote and a little about your resume. Okay. So then that round started. In that round, basically, it was first of all, we went through all the questions. Just a quick thing that the interviewer people are really nice. So it's important to be very comfortable. If you're very nervous, then there's no point to it, right? So just be comfortable, answer normally, don't panic, and it would most probably go well. Like that was my first interview, right? But
yeah.
still, it went well. So there's no need to panic. So it might be a little overwhelming to hear right now because I'm saying a lot of stuff, but it's not as big a deal. Okay. So anyhow, where was I? Yeah, the interview, right? So in that interview, basically they go question wise, right? They discuss your approach, how you approach the question. Uh, then they sort of cross question you to sort of confuse you. If you state your point, if you realize your mistake, you can definitely say that I'm sorry, I made a small mistake. I realize it now. Blah blah blah, right? And you can accordingly see your way through it, right? But it's basically telling what you did, how you attempted the answers, and that would be an interviewer who would be sort of seeing if you did was all right or not, and testing your confidence in a manner too. Sometimes we do it right, but then when you're under pressure, we say, "Oh, I guess I may be wrong." You just have to be on ground with that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so after that, there was some basic HR based questions on my LinkedIn, on my profile, my resume. whatever I did in college. Like the interview lasted around 50, 60 minutes. That's the average time for an interview, all the
Okay.
interview. So yeah, that was about it. And there was some guess estimates. Yeah, so that is an important topic. So guess estimates would be there in this round as well as the next one, next two, too, like in all the rounds. So what are guess estimates? Like you can search on Google and you would get plenty of examples on it. It's more like estimating any sort of problem. So like surprise thing was in my first interview, he was just asking me, where do you live? I said I live in Gurgaon. And then he was like, okay, have you traveled to metro Delhi or something? I was pretty open. Yeah, I might have traveled, yeah, a lot, and of that. Then a random question popped in. He said that, can you guess estimate and tell me what is the total metro track length of the whole Delhi NCR? So I was caught up by surprise at that point. But so guess estimates are basically testing you that how good do you estimate random stuff. Okay. So there's you can solve many examples are there on net. Okay. So you can just tell your approach to it. For example, my approach was I traveled from this place to this place in 1 hour. If I take the average speed of metro to be this, then the average distance is this. If there are these many tracks, then this is this. And I sort of came to an answer. Okay. It can be very like one of my colleagues had a question that like he was in Bombay or something, and like he was just saying I like ice cream, and they said randomly that, okay, can you tell me how many ice creams do people buy in this in the Bombay region, right? So
Okay.
you can just estimate that, okay, so there are the population of India is this much, say Bombay's population is this much, and if Bombay's population is this much, say every family eats an ice cream once a day during the summertime. So you can just come up to an estimate. What they say is not your exact value, they see your approach to it. Okay. So when you would try to solve guess estimate problems online, you would get plenty of there's this top-down approach, bottom-up approach. You can see all of that online. It would hardly take an hour or two to study about it. It's not as big, right? Just keep the things in mind, like what is India's population, what is your state's population, what is your city's population, just some basic things to note down. So yeah, that was more about my first round. So all these rounds are do or die situation. Okay, so if you clear the round, you move further. If you don't, you are not going further, right? So the next round is more of an HR type round. It's known as the fit interview round. Okay, so as part of that round, another person would be there who would be a little senior to the person you interviewed earlier. Now, he will also, now his questions would be not relevant to the case study. So in the previous round, case study went around to 30, 35 minutes, and the rest was 15, 20 minutes. In this round, it was purely sort of my profile, some project I made. For example, like they would definitely ask you this question, like, why do you think you are suitable for this role? So okay, I'll just go through with some questions also, which might be asked. So some questions are like,
Yeah.
why did you apply for this role? Then why do you think you are a fit candidate? Where do you see yourself in 5 years, for example? There are plenty of like basic HR type questions. You can see a big list of them on websites like Quora, Glassdoor, and all of these. Like even I sort of laid down all the questions in front of me. I prepared the answers for all of them so that I'm prepared before the interview. Okay. So, and basic questions, HR based questions, they'll ask you around. So, yeah, after that, he asked maybe one or two guess estimates from me, some basic tricky questions like one was some coin based question, like basic interview questions which you usually get. There are plenty of questions online. You can search around them.
Yeah.
That won't be an issue. So, yeah, that was about the second round. And after we cleared that, then was the final round. The final round was with a senior ZS person. So the purpose of that round is definitely he would ask you some questions around your profile, but the purpose of that round is more so that you can get to know more about ZS. You can ask all the doubts you have, all the questions you have in mind. You can, like, I asked him, is it like in the pandemic period? Because at that time the pandemic was going on. Are you getting business? How's the situation? You can ask whatever you're curious about. Okay, it's all about curiosity, and you can ask about the basic life there. How is the work-life balance? You can ask multitude of questions. So yeah, it's an open-ended interview, and but there is one specific thing in that interview which is known as the pressure situation. Okay, so now what the pressure situation is that within a pressure and above you, can you answer it through your moral standards? So what does that mean? So what happened with me, for example, was so I was given a situation in which I was with a client in a meeting room, and we had to close a deal. But I was not confident about the deal, and I thought that there are some mistakes. The client is a very big company, so this was the problem statement given to me. Okay,
Okay.
and he said that if you're there and you're the only person there, you are the lead of the team. So tell me, would you close that business? And if you don't close that business within 10 minutes, then the offer's off the road. Okay. And if you lose that client, then you're basically destroying the reputation of Zedis not to perform right. So what would you do? So I first of all, so there was a specific question. I first of all tried many ways to solve that question. Okay, I was not successful, right? Because it was a complex question. So definitely there is pressure when you can't solve something during an interview and they get stuck to that question. There's a lot of pressure on you. Why can't you make it right? And all of that. So then at one point he asked me this, you are in this client room, this is the situation, what would you do? If you close the deal, your client is very big, he doesn't even care, and you get business to ZS, right? So it's a win-win situation, what would you do? So at that point you have to be on your moral grounds, and you would answer what is morally right. You would say that, yeah, this is not the right thing to do, and even if the business goes out of hand, I won't harm my client in any way. Otherwise, it would spoil my reputation in the future. And that's my stand. Right. So it's more of a pressure round. So you just have to be what you really are in reality. Like, how would you really answer? Just the important point is in a pressure situation, don't fall. Right. So that's what the senior person wants to test actually. That
Yeah.
are you really truthful enough that you would act in that situation? That's more about it. They just try to judge your moral character. And yeah, so that was all the rounds. And
Okay.
mhm,
Finally, you're given the offer, right? Yeah. So
yeah,
that was pretty much like quite elaborate, and like I hope all of you who are viewing it got
yeah,
pretty good insights along with the type of questions asked, along with his particular experiences, what are the type of answers you can frame for those questions. So it was pretty much clear. Like I got a very clear picture into this Campus Beats program, what is it's all about, and everything. So that was
mhm,
pretty much it about Campus Beats program. Thank you so much, Kushagra. Like
yeah.
something if we talk about from a person who is currently studying in his second year or who is currently studying in his third year. So if he's aiming to crack a ZS Campus Beats program, so what the things he should keep in mind, or something, a type of sort of preparation strategy, I would say, like that would be more suitable for him, or
Okay, so obviously for these consultancy companies, it's more or less all about you preparing for the case study round. Okay. So now, as part of the case study, I just in the start I told you about this thing, IV case study, IVY. It's a very famous thing, right?
okay.
So I would just suggest that it's basically 40-50 pages maximum. So in that they explain you from start on what are the different types of question, like there are different types of problem statements. Can be profit, it can be say a client is launching a new product and how should it launch, which markets to target. So basically you get a very good overview. It is very well explained. Okay, so my personal choice would be to go through that. Okay, because it would help you frame. And other than that, you can always, like what I did was directly search on Google case interview based questions. I saw some YouTube videos, how to answer, how to act, what to ask, what not to ask, how to wear, all those doubts were cleared. And case interview questions, you would get various sites. Like I saw some case studies of McKinsey and BCG, I guess. Like those are all free. Okay, there's nothing particular. So you can just go to that. There are, I guess I did 11, 12 case studies before my interviews and all of that. So that gives you an overview about all that is. And so, as far as the preparation is concerned, basic analytical skills are there. So, maybe you should know a little bit of Excel, you should be a little bit good at maths. Your data, you can see data and you can make graphs, you can see graphs and know what they are all about. It's not very specific preparation that is required as such. We learn all of that in college.
Yeah.
Other than that, this case study is definitely important. Your guess estimates are definitely important, and most importantly, the way you sort of the way you present yourself. So, like, you might be good at all of that, but if you're not good in the way you present yourself, then it's all in waste, right? So how you approach, how you talk, maybe your voice modulation, maybe your expressions, your hand movements, all of that matters. Okay. So it's like, if you've not done that earlier, to all those who are listening, I would say that, maybe just with your friend roommate, just sit along with him, tell him to be the interviewer, you be the interviewee, you just sit in front of him, tell him to ask some random questions. Keep a straight body, be confident, speak up, because only through practice will this fair go, right? In my case, what happened was that I had the opportunity in the team to go to multiple sponsors and present them. So that way around, a confidence was built for me around that. But if you don't have that, such like if you don't have that opportunity, the basic thing is just to do it that way. Maybe if it's going to be a Zoom call, you can sit in front of the laptop, your friend on another laptop, and you're interviewing like that. You like both of them can help each other. So it's very much more of your personality, one, and definitely your analytical skills. So yeah, and it's not very big a deal. I'm again telling you, you just have to be confident. You have to be prepared. So before every round, I used to spend a lot of time searching on net what are the basic questions that have been asked for this round in earlier interview experiences. So you get a lot of questions. I researched a lot. I accordingly prepared, and I mean, just be prepared, and it's going to be great.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. So, one thing more, like, is there any branch specification or stream, like any certain streams are allowed, or any like only CS people are allowed? Like, what's the
No.
criteria for that? Like, in consultancy, like, is it everybody who is allowed?
So yeah, first of all, everyone's allowed to sit for the placements. There is no segregation on basis of any branch. Now, typically, the business technology role, which I told earlier, is more on the backend side and is very much related to your software-based programming and all of that. So preferably, they usually take CSE-based people only. CSE-based in the
Okay,
sense they should be good in programming and coding and all of that, right?
okay,
So that is more towards the business technology role. But otherwise, for the decision analytics and the business operations, there is no specific boundary as to is any stream allowed or not. Everyone is allowed. Everyone can become a consultant.
okay, cool. So, like, I hope like everybody has got really good insights into this entire program. At last, like, I would conclude with the some do's and don'ts, and like one piece of advice for the people who will be participating in this campus challenge this year.
Um, Do's and don'ts. So one is definitely don't try to cheat. See, I am in college. We all are in college, right? It's not like I haven't cheated in college in various quizzes or papers, right? So we all are here to help each other and all of that. But what the important point is, when you're once you've cleared the first round, so what happens in the even case interview round, in the very one first round when you're with the team? So for example, you have a team of 5 members. You have another group of friends who are in another team having 5 members. Now, if you discuss your solutions, you might think you're foolproofing each other. But what happens sometimes is that the other solution might be wrong, yours might be correct. And once you discuss, you might pick up the wrong stuff and put it in yours, and you might not also be selected. So, first of all, have confidence within your team members. That is very important. And don't ask for advice from other team members because they don't have as much an experience that you're actually asking them. Okay. First is that. Second is when you're during your case interview rounds, preferably talk to people who are more experienced. That means that maybe ask your parents, maybe ask your dad's colleagues, maybe some senior who has passed out and is working in some consultancy based company. Never ask your roommate or your batchmate, because he is as much inexperienced as you are. He would definitely flaunt out. He would say, you should do this and you should do this and you should do this. But he is no one to say. He has not achieved anything yet. He has not been placed in a company, or he doesn't have experience on the very days, right? So
Yeah.
it's important whenever you ask for any advice, you ask it. You can approach anyone on LinkedIn who is a part of ZS, right? They would be more than happy to help you out. Okay, even you can approach me definitely, and that's just the way you can directly approach people and ask them, not go through your friends' opinions. Even in all the interviews, and you can ask anyone, they will give you good advice. So that is one of the don'ts. And another don't is definitely when you're in the case interview round and you have a one-to-one interview, there's a tendency for you to sort of discuss your answers with someone and all of that. In case the interviewer sort of sees that your answers and your friend's answer are similar, because there would be just one interviewer for a group.
Yeah.
So if he gets that opinion, like you're answering on the same grounds, then it's big loss.
Right.
Like you came
Yeah.
so much further and then you're all back. Right. So I won't suggest that during the interview rounds, be composed, have confidence in yourself, be prepared beforehand, and do it or yourself, right? So just if you want to ask advice, basic thing, ask from someone experienced. That's all. So
Cool.
other than that, like major do's and don'ts are this only. Like just be prepared before any interview or anything, and yeah, you will do great. Be confident. So yeah,
Perfect. 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 Yeah. Thank you so much for everything
that's
that you told about ZS Campus Beats Challenge. I hope everybody got some really good insights into what this program is, how to apply for it, what to prepare for it, and how to be like a kind of quick roadmap for the complete program that you gave. And it was really very elaborate and very crisp. Thank you so much, Kushagra, for accepting the invite once again. And
most welcome.
I hope everybody who watches this video would be like
Definitely.
great to you. So thank you.
I hope you guys enjoyed the video. You got some really good insights into what ZS Campus Beats program is, and Kushagra was very clear and crisp in his explanation. I would like to thank him for coming here on my channel and sharing his experience. But if you want to know more about other opportunities in tech, in non-tech, everything, so we are coming up with a lot of amazing content on this channel. Go ahead and subscribe this channel for more and more updates ahead. And wish you all the best and good luck. Bye bye.